Chief's Garage. I'm Eugene. Thanks for stopping in. In this video, I want to catch you guys up to where I am on my 331 stroker build. I've just returned from the machine shop where guys did a fantastic job, and I'm going through the basic process that I normally do whenever I have an engine, machined and gone through. For this engine, we took it out to the machine shop, had the guys bore it 30 over. It's been a line hone checked. We found that because the mains were in such great condition and the register, everything just proves out that it didn't need to be a line honed. We've also decked this to try to get it to zero deck. And so one of the first processes I do whenever I get the engine back, and I would recommend this to everyone, is bring it in and preserve it first. So first thing I did when I got in, because this has gone through a hot tank, it's completely, it's completely degreased. There's no oil, there's no greases. It's gonna flash rust, guys. One of the things you gotta do is preserve it and keep your work safe. You've gone through a lot of money to get everything honed. If you don't preserve the cylinders and you get some rust in your crosshatch, of course, oil belongs in those places. And if you've got some flash rust in there, you won't carry your oil as well as you should. So a couple of the products I use liquid wrench on the areas that are like the main valley and stuff like that, because it's really light, oil, and it basically keeps it from rusting. But in the cylinders, I use something to protect the cylinders. I usually spray it with this product, wipe it around in the cylinders until I get a chance to get into doing the actual measuring, which is what we're going to do today. So what I'm going to do is I've already got the dial bore gauge set up. I basically set my micrometer to 4" 30 thousandths, which is what the bore should be. And of course, match that to my dial bore gauge. Now, we have to consider that there are some variables here. One of them is I'm not using the same dial bore gauge that they used at the machine shop. So you may have a variance of a half thousandths or so, which is, in my thoughts, acceptable. One of the other things that you're going to need is you're going to need one of your pistons, because when I took this engine to the shop, I took the pistons with it. Now, there's going to be inside of your piston kit, and I'll show you guys this, and when we get a little deeper into this, there's a clearance that they want you to have this piston to the walls of your bore. And so by giving the piston to your machine shop, he's going to measure this and final hone your block to make sure your piston to wall clearance matches what the manufacturer of the piston says. And we're going to check that as well. So I'm going to try to see if I can keep this video short. I'm going to do this in a way where I break it down, where it doesn't take a long time in each video, but each of the consecutive videos will show you a step. And this one is basically, I'm doing the homework, guys. In facilities, we say, if you're not measuring what you have, then you're not managing it. So we're going to measure. And I'm going to show you guys what it is that I got back from the machine shop, and we're checking their accuracy. It's a machine shop that I trust. Not really worried that things are not what they should be, but we should check that. So let's get started. Okay, guys, so I've got my dial bore gauge. It's set to 4" 30 thousandths. And so our first process here is going to be to check the thrust. And normally we would check this in multiple places, usually 3. But since I have this set at 4" 30 thousandths, anything above that is what they've allowed me for piston to wall clearance. And so what I'm seeing right here right now is I'm at 3.5, 4" 33, 4" 33.5. I'm going to check this direction as well. I'm seeing 4" 33. 4" 33. And so that's how we do this for each and every cylinder. We're going to go down each and every cylinder, and I'm going to spin the engine over to the other side. We're going to do the exact same thing. One of the things that I'm not going to drag you guys through is the actual measuring of every cylinder. It'll just take a long time, and so you get the principle. Now that we know what the actual bores are, we measure the piston, and the piston's difference is what that is. And I've already measured the pistons. The pistons come out to be exactly 4" 30. So this piston's 4" 30. I've got 4" 33 and a half, which means my piston to wall clearance is 3.5 thousandths, or 30 thousandths. So that was what we were looking for, and as you can see, it fits right into the bore. And I'm going to do that to all of them. And once I'm done getting all of the pistons measured, because we measure each piston and I number each piston to where it's going to have its final home, then we'll know that all of our piston to wall clearances are good, that the machine shop has done their job, and from there we can go on to the next steps in our build. Now that we've verified that all of our cylinders are bored to the spec that we requested, our next piece is to go over some of their machine work just to make sure that everything that we need in order to start from here will be good. Of course, before we sent them the block, we deburred it, and you can still see that all the sharp edges are gone here. But one of the things that happens when your block is decked is shaving this surface will oftentimes result in a sharp edge at the entrance of your bores. That's not good, and it should be touched up with there's a couple of ways you can do it. A lot of the guys will use a cone, and that 45-degree cone is just on the drill, and they put it in and they re-chamfer the block here. Other guys will do this while it's still in the surfacing machine. They'll take off that cutter head, put on another cutter, and they'll just chamfer the edges of your bores. And you can see these have been done, which is great. That's going to help your rings to get started. I've gone through and taken a look at everything. You can see there's a light machine oil on this, and I do that so that things don't rust, that we can keep everything in spec. All the cylinders and cross hatching looks really good in here. These guys actually check your surface when they're done to make sure it's good. The surface of this is machined to a finish where we could use any head gasket we like. There are a lot of people who will ask, what are those little shiny little dots right there? Well, those little shiny dots that you see there are part of the casting process. When these engines are cast, they're held together with little metal rods, and those metal rods don't get removed from the casting, and that's why you see those little dots right there. It was all a part of the casting process. Of course, they put this through the hot tank, so you can see it's got surface rust on the outside, but everything else is lightly machined oil. We're going to come back here in a bit after we finish looking this all over to make sure that we can get this preserved. There's some things that we still need to do. In my next video, I'm going to show you guys the mock-up of the rotating assembly, which is the next piece. And until we get all of that done, we don't want to do anything else. We need to get the crankshaft in it, get it mocked up to make sure that we have the clearance that we need, because this is a stroker. And once I've done that, then we will go in and start to do some of the other process. And we'll see if I can roll this over where you guys can see what I'm talking here. So bear with me, because I'm a one-man band here and trying to use the camera and the hands and all at the same time. So as you can see, core plugs are not in it. I'm going to put those in. We have them on the shelf. Piece of cake, no problem. All of the mains came back with it. And as you can see, they're not really all shiny in there because they didn't align on it. We didn't find it necessary to do that. One of the other things that you need to look at on your engine when it comes back is whether or not you have a small chamfer on the bottom here. Because your pistons will protrude out of the bottom of this, there needs to be a little chamfer here so that it doesn't wipe the oil off the skirt of the piston when it goes down and makes its way back up. As you can see, there are no cam bearings. I'm going to show you guys how to put those in. We're also going to take these oil gallery, not galley, gallery. A galley is where you eat on the ship. A gallery is a series of passages. So these oil galleries, we're going to thread these and put threaded plugs in it. I spit one of these out on one of my other builds. One of the things that makes for a bad day is if these little plugs blow out under high RPM, high pressure. It'll just blow all the oil out of there. And so to prevent that, you know, some of the Boss blocks and any of the aftermarket blocks, all of those will already be drilled and tapped, just as you may be able to see back here, maybe not. But the rear ones are always threaded. So that's where we are for right now. Everything looks pretty good to me from here. In the next video, I'll take you guys through the mock-up of getting the stroker crank in this and making sure that we have clearance. As you can see here, the piston manufacturer provides us with all the information we need about the piston. And if we look here, it says that it wants us to set the clearance to 3/1000. So whatever this diameter is here on the piston that we have, which we did give to our machine shop, they take that measurement and then add 3/1000 to it to get our piston to wall clearance. And so guys, as you can see, we have a successful trip to the machine shop. Got the engine back. I'm pleased with what I see there. We're within the specs that I asked for and what the manufacturer of the pistons asked for piston to wall clearance. The cross hatch is good. The top of the bores have all been chamfered. The box decked, and I think from this point we're ready to go on to the next stage. So stay tuned. I appreciate you guys for watching and coming along with me in my adventure in this, new build. And if there's questions that you have about anything that I'm doing, guys, please ask. I appreciate all the questions that I get. I think it's a part of what this great community of car builders is all about. So hit the subscribe button. If you want to see my videos in the future, ring the bell. Thanks for coming along. Get out there and build something.